Uncle Frank was the first one up in here. That's what's up. Hey, this is, man, Playmaker. Oh my goodness. Michael Irvin went against his lawyer's advice, had them come to his home near Fort Worth, Texas. And this was unbelievable. Playmaker decided to tell his side of a story. You got $100 million lawsuit. What are you doing? What's up, X? This man got $100 million lawsuit on the table. You ain't supposed to be talking. The lawyers didn't even know what he was doing. His lawyers did not know Michael Irvin was doing this. That's how crazy it was. Michael Irvin's lawyers didn't even know he was doing this. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Michael, what is it that you would like to say, first of all, about the alleged incident that we've been hearing about?
Well, I know you guys have heard from my attorneys, and I know my attorneys, once they see this, and because they don't know that I'm doing it, I know they will freak out. And I understand they're trying to do the best job they can do, and they've advised me not to do this. But it's tough to walk around, I have to walk around and carry on with my life, and to have certain things out here about you that have been said, it's just tough to carry on. So even against their wishes, I thought it was a need for me to speak on what happened that night and tell the truth about what happened that night, and share the backdrop, about the person involved. I want to tell people, first of all, I've known it for almost a decade. I met her when I moved a friend of mine to Miami to work for me on my radio show in the sales department, and he was dating her at the time. So we've been around each other for a long time, hung out with me, hung out with my friends, hung out with my family. I've never ever, in that decade, we've never had any kind of dating relationship, and we've never had any kind of sexual relationship or sexual relations in any way. So the night in question, it's my first day home after off season, during off season, and I went home to see my nieces and nephews, who I take care of, and live in one of my homes in Florida, and we were, they had a county track meet, they did it.
Now, already, this has started in a whole different direction. Already. Let me tell you what direction it went in right away from the jump. From the jump, Michael Irvin, right? From the jump, Michael Irvin went in a direction this should have never went in. What was the original story? He walked in, saw a girl downstairs. He called and talked to her for 47 seconds and went back to his room and went back to sleep. Wasn't no problems. That was the original story. Now, this is a woman that he's known for 10 years, who's like a friend to the family. And he's explaining all this now. Now this is a whole new story. So this is why his lawyers is like, why are you talking? We need to go to court. Let's get this done in court. Let's legally win this thing. That's what his team is thinking. But that ain't what our homeboy over there thinking. Michael Irvin is thinking something entirely different. Now, I think Mike is innocent 100%, but he's giving full details to this case. To now, it went from a random woman downstairs that worked for the hotel to this is a woman that he's already known for 10 years. So now Michael Irvin just goes off talking about his nephews and nieces and all that.
Early morning flight.
But now,
we all hang out over there. We were hanging out. And I had a 6 a.m. flight, early morning flight. And we hung out with Franks till about, I may have gotten there about 12:30, 12:30 in the morning. Because I had to track meet and take the kids home and all of the kids. I went to the hotel and he called, I went over. And then I thought to myself, all right, I'll just hang out with friends and family and then I'll just go straight to the airport at 6 a.m. because I had that early morning flight. So we were over there about 12:30, and then we went to another place called the Rock Bar. And right around the corner from my hotel. Now, me being the leader that I am, and the one with the most resources in this group, because remember, these are families and friends. I want to make sure everybody's okay at the end of the night. Make sure everybody has a ride home. I'll pay for everybody to get a ride home. And since I was leaving, I offered my hotel room. I said, you guys, if you want to, you can stay here and sleep it off because I am leaving. And when we left the Rock Bar, we went back to the hotel room. We were in the hotel room for a short while. And Vince was there with me. Vince is a guy I grew up with since about, used to be my point guard and playing basketball since about 8th or 9th grade. He was with me and we were all in the room. And Vince said, hey man, I have to go. I got an early morning meeting. I said, okay. I got him a car home. Left in the room was NI. I was sitting around and she's bouncing around and she was impaired. She had been drinking all night and she was drunk and she was more friendly than usual. And I had said to her, I said, just chill out. It's just the alcohol talking. One of the things that we do, and I even share with my sons, we take a class over at the NFL Network, mandatory class every year. And they talk about this, and I'm thankful that they do. They always talk about it, they harp on it. They say whenever someone's that impaired, they have no ability to make a decision. So when she was being more friendly than usual, I stopped her. I said, stop, let's go, we gotta go. Soon after that, I grabbed my bags and walked out of the hotel, going to the airport. Walked out of the hotel after me. She walked down the hall after me. She walked in the elevator with me. She walked down in the lobby with me, and then she left, and I left. We talked in the lobby. I tried to tell her, I said, go back to the room and get some rest and sleep it off, and gave her the key. I texted her after that and said, go back to the room and go to sleep. I texted the room number to her, 2004, 22004 is the room number. Go back and sleep it off. She texted me, good night. I know, then last Tuesday, I was pulling into the Palladium, headed to an event at the Palladium. And I get a phone call from my attorney and my agent saying that TMZ was about to release a story. And I didn't know what the story was. I was like, about what? And then they told me about the story. I said, who, when, where? I've asked all these things. And they told me, I said, there's no way. I said, there's no way. I've had at least 10 communications, texts, phone calls since that night. Since that night. My last communication with her was Monday night, 24 hours before I got the phone call that TMZ was about to release the story. So I was taken by surprise. I was taken by surprise. For one, there was nobody left in my hotel room, drugged, passed out, and taken advantage of. Walked out of the room with me. We're doing our investigation. We've talked with the W. Of course, we talked with the Rock Bar. We've spoken with Frank at Ocean Manor. We're acquiring the tapes. We know, we've asked the W to preserve the tapes. They say they have the tapes. And then it will show that she walked out of the room with me. And I tried to get her to go back into the room to go to sleep and sleep it off. I've always looked like a little niece. You know, she's like a little niece. She's been around me, she's been around my family, been out to eat with us. I considered her a friend. A lot of people think saying, Michael, were you being careless? I thought I was being caring, making sure all of my friends and family members got home safely and or just slept it off and not got out in the streets.
Well, sleeping it off has turned into this. This is why you don't have them sleep it off. This is the main reason why you don't have them sleep it off. Michael Irvin, Jesus Christ. This story done got worse and worse and worse. Now you done had this person in your room. She drunk. The whole thing just sound bad. Now, Mike is innocent, in my opinion. I'm quite sure he's going to be proven innocent. I'll tell you right now, because this is the most sober I've ever seen Michael Irvin in my life. And he's never been more transparent. But your lawyers are going to be real pissed off. They did all this investigative work, and you sitting here throwing it all away for free. You're right. Now, see, here's the deal. This is why this was released. Michael Irvin went against the lawyer's advice that time. I'm giving y'all a pattern of what they're trying to do, right? This was 5 years ago. They tried this with Michael Irvin. No. See, you don't understand the history. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to confuse you. There's a reason that this sit-down interview with Michael Irvin is trending now. Because they want to blend the cases. They want to make it look as if Michael Irvin is a guilty man. So this is when he went against his lawyer's advice, and they got this case resolved, and it was over. And he let the woman sleep it off in his hotel room. Now, this coincides with what's happening at Super Bowl weekend. Whoever is doing this is trying to show a pattern of people trying to sabotage Michael Irvin. That was a family friend who did it. This lady here worked for the hotel. Michael Irvin didn't even know her. So it was like, oh, the story didn't change. That's why I told y'all in the beginning. Oh, the story has changed. Now it went from this woman, he knows the woman, is looking bad. Because that's what the direction they're trying to do. See, this is misdirection. This is what they're trying to do. I know, that's why it's trending. That's why I said, oh, this is bad now. Because see, what they're trying to do is use this misdirection to make you believe Michael Irvin is going up and he's telling his side of the story. And now you'll get blended with an old story with the new one. It's $100 million lawsuit on the line. Dude, do you think I don't know this? Look at here. Look at Michael Irvin. Do Michael Irvin look like that today? That's Mike about 5 years ago. Okay, that's Mike from like 5 years ago. They're trying to paint this story. They're trying to paint this story as the story now. That's why it's trending. Mike went against the lawyer's advice and told his story. They're letting you remind you of the story that happened previously about the hotel incident. So now here's another hotel incident. They're trying to show a pattern of events. No, I didn't catch the XFL games. They're trying to show you a pattern of events. And they're trying to say, look at this. He had another incident just 5 years ago. And they're trying to mix it all up by his past history. And he goes against his lawyer's advice. And this is why you don't do these sit-down interviews. Even if you want to tell your side of the story, do it in an article, not on video. Now, they are using this to try to twist the situation, to make it look as if.
Driving after we have been hanging out drinking. But I can tell you this, nothing happened. Nothing happened. You know, I have worked very hard to overcome some mistakes of my youth, to regain the trust of my family and friends, my community, Cowboys Nation, NFL fan base, my employers, and my NFL Hall of Fame teammates. I can tell you, I have done nothing to violate that trust. Nothing to violate that trust. And I know, no doubt in my mind, in the end, the truth will come out.
And that was it. That was all that needed to be said. But the truth came out and the playmaker resolved this case. But that was a friend of the family. So you got to already know, Mike has already learned from this incident not to let a chick back in his room. No, they're not going to say anything because, see, that's old. That's an old case. They're blending this, they're trending this now to confuse you that this is the new case. That's why I say, oh no, Mike, it sound bad. First you said you met her in the lobby, now she back in the room. Oh my God. Because see, that's what they want you to think. Misdirection. This is a prime example of what happens when you do go against your lawyer's advice. This is why they know you're telling the truth, but they rather you get proven in a court of law. That's why people don't do these sit down interviews to tell their side of the story until everything's over with. Then you might sit down and talk about the story later. You don't do this before your trial or anything, because now you have a similar situation up, and now they're posting this old video from another case that was 5 years ago. They're trying to show, like, see, this is a pattern, Your Honor. Here's a video of another incident in a hotel just 5 years ago. The hotel and the people involved, their lawyers, are going to use this. This is why this video is trending. Even though he's telling you his side of the story and he's innocent, if you're listening to this, you're not going to know it's old. Some people know it's old who remember. Other people won't. They're going to take this and blend it in with the news story. Oh my God. I'm setting an example. They're clickbaiting you. Not me. I'm showing you the example of what they do. And what they're doing right now. They're making this trend right now. And there's a reason this is trending. Because he's in a similar case again with a hotel woman situation. They're bringing this video back up. So this is a teachable and learnable moment for professional athletes or entertainers or anybody. Don't do a sit-down interview. Handle things in a court of law. Because now they should use this against you for any other thing you do, even though you're telling your side of the story and the truth. It's like reliving the whole thing all over again. Something that's been resolved 5 years ago. That woman, yeah, but see, this something that even if he wins the case, his name is being ruined. How many times have you seen that? It's like once you're accused of it, you're basically blackballed. So you never get to really enjoy anything. Because after you go through the mental stress of going through this nonsense, you're going to win the case. You're not going to get $100 million. You're going to settle somewhere for somewhere less than that. But still, after you settle and you get this, your name is still going to be ruined. It's not like they're going to hire him back, probably. He's going to go through all of these different problems. And he's a target. Whenever they see Michael Irvin, someone's going to try a hotel move or any other thing. I told you, this thing is political. Michael Irvin is the pawn. Michael Irvin is being used as a pawn. He's innocent 100%. But he's being used as a pawn to get Jerry. This was in Arizona. That woman was staged to do what she did. The hotel, everybody was in on this thing. They're trying to use Michael Irvin, get him in trouble so Jerry Jones will come and try to get him out. So that they can point Jerry. Jerry is a very rich contributor to the right side of politics. He has powerful friends in Arizona. Now, Jerry's not going to be able to contribute to people and give his support to politicians if he's taking care of Michael Irvin, who's in another scandal. You see what I'm saying? He comes to the aid of Michael Irvin in this situation. Now this taints Jerry. The same reason they went and pulled up a picture from like 1935 or whatever. And Jerry was there. To try to make Jerry look bad. Jerry's a total right, conservative, old school type of dude. But if you play for the Cowboys, he gonna ride with you. And Michael Irvin's his guy. He gonna ride with Michael Irvin. So you just gotta let Jerry know so Jerry can take care of these things. Now, Michael didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, Chuck. That's why it started the way it did. Because that's the direction they want you to believe. But I could look at Michael Irvin and tell it's old. As soon as I looked at Michael Irvin, I'm like, Michael Irvin don't look like that no more. Michael Irvin, I was like, that's playment. I knew it was old from looking at it. Because I'm like, Michael Irvin is old. I'm like, he's way older than that now. And it's 5 years later. But see, I played y'all that story so you could hear it. And then most people thought, man, why is Mike talking about this case? Because a lot of you, unless you was in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, you really didn't see that story. You saw it in the headlines one time when it played out. But if you listen to this, it sounds like what? Like he talking about the story that just happened. You see, this is how it happens. So I gave you the prime example of what goes on in these cases. So you should not ever go against your lawyer's advice. Don't ever do that. Don't do that whatsoever. Don't go out and make a statement as much as you want to. People be like, man, they be like, man, I want to say something, but I can't. So I just got to stay quiet and go to court. And I'll have my day in court. But I do want to clear my name because my name is being bashed and thrown around. Never do it. This is a prime example why. A prime example is why you should never do that. His lawyers advised him not to do that sit-down interview. They were in the middle of a lawsuit at the time, but he wanted to clear his name because he had been through so much in his past with his history. He wanted to let the world know he was 100% innocent. He didn't do anything. There's a family friend there. He had text messages, everything, and he didn't do anything in that situation. And he was telling the truth. Now, the second time around, that was even the shortest thing. That was like 30, 40 seconds in a lobby. And I'm like, playmaker. Now it sounds like the story is switching. Now it's like the girl was in your room. If you're listening to this, most people are not going to look and see that this is old. They're going to say, what is Playmaker doing? First, he said he just met the girl in the lobby and that was it. Now she's been in the room. So people who's listening to this, it's going to sound like Michael Irvin is telling 2, 3, 4 different stories when this is an old case. This isn't the new case. But that's why it's trending. Exactly. He went against his lawyer's advice. So now that he has a new case, believe me, they're making this video trend for a reason. So now they're trying to show a pattern. And now they're using this and blending it in with this new story to make it sound like Michael Irvin is telling conflicting stories when he's not. That is an old case. So that's why most people who see this won't understand the video until they go through it. And then they go, oh, I get it. I thought this was the real case too. So, and I was like, this is what I wanted you to have that feeling so that you would understand this is what they wanted to do. Is to have you mixed up because everybody got a life. Ain't nobody gonna remember what happened 5 years ago. They just know Michael Irvin's in trouble right now. So that's all they know. So when they see that, oh man, he's sitting down with the lawyers and he's telling this side of the story, he's like, man, this seems like it's new. Oh, of course, the case is super weak against him because there is no case. He saw this person for like 30 seconds. 30, 40 seconds. He got witnesses. Michael Irvin finna beat this thing walking with hands up. They blew it. You see, they blew it. That's what. That's the part that got everybody is that they blew it. Yeah, they blew it. This wasn't supposed to go that way. That's the problem. No. The situation was always difficult. The situation's always going to be difficult. One, he's a black man. This is a white woman. That can never be ignored when you're in a situation when it comes to the court of law, when it comes to history, when it comes to all of this. Celebrity means nothing, and especially in a state of Arizona. I don't really deal with Charleston White on that level. Um, I I did see that interview though when you were talking about Dr. King and all that, but no, that's not why he lost his life. No, he sacrificed himself. All he had to do was go home. And he knew he was at the end of his rope. But that's a whole nother story. And that stuff is for the Patreon. Mm, well, here's the thing. People have dark times and they have, you know, they have moments where that don't make them look good. Only with black people does this follow them around? Does Robert Downey Jr.'s history of drug abuse follow him? No, he's Iron Man. He's no longer the drug addict man. He's Iron Man. Well, his past don't follow him no more. Right? All this stuff don't follow them. Mel Gibson is on tape arguing with his ex-wife, said hopes she get R-word by a pack of N-words. And she released the Mel Gibson tapes. And I got them on my other channel. Mel Gibson's past didn't follow him. They want you to remember his good outweighs his bad. Mel's back. Well, Charlie Sheen, not only is he HIV positive and was out there kissing on these women on TV shows, and his erratic behavior, Charlie ain't been back since. But he became famous for being a drug addict. I got tiger blood. He does an interview and people loved him. Coming out, yeah. Yeah, I smoke crack. Well, who's your dealer? Oh, boy, stuff don't work on me. I got tiger blood. He was nuts. He became famous for it. Mm. Well, you gotta understand things are warped. So when you start seeing different scenarios where people are warped, you can't go against that element. When you're a black man, you can't just turn your back to it. Well, you got to understand, this is a delivery system. They deliver it to the world using social media, using the internet, and they turn it into whatever they need it to be. If you use the internet to turn something into what you want it to look like and what you want it to be, well, that's what made it. That's what make it interesting, right? No. People never got to see. People never got to see the situations go in the direction they did. Yeah, you always be forgiven by people, but they never forgot it. Soon as Kobe Bryant, his whole career, winning championships, people forgotten about the Colorado incident. The moment he died, what did they try to bring up? They going back to Colorado, right? Mm-hmm. Well, when you see other elements that keep rearing its head again and again and again, you always know when it's us, it's always something extra, isn't it? Mm. See, that's where y'all get things wrong. See, things get wrong by a lot of people. Now, this image was put out when Mike got in trouble. They showed Mike hugging some fans who wanted to take a picture of him back in the day. Then they showed a clip of what happened with Playmaker from the hotel, and he just saying hi and bye to some people. And they trying to show Playmaker's old history back in the forefront. You see? That's what they want you to see. This is the imagery. This is why you have to be careful. Because these narratives do exist. And even though Playmaker was innocent, this narrative is still going to be over his head. So you can never fall asleep and think, oh, it won't happen to me. You know, as long as I don't do nothing, everything is everything. No, you can't think like that. You have to think you are always the target. No. As I've said before, that is very incorrect. So definitely listen to the entire video, like the video, subscribe to the page. Shout out to Uncle Frank who showed up first in the bunch. And definitely support Kwame Brown Bus Life 2.0, Kwame Brown Bus Life. Welcome to HD TV, Ticket TV, Armando Black TV, Seahawks Jose Rodriguez's channel. He's talking sports, still sticking with them Seahawks and his Rams when they win the Super Bowl. The Star Report, Dreamers Pro, Angela Stanton King show. You know, it's a lot that goes on in the day. So let me get back to work for the people. And I'm going to holler at y'all. Thanks to everybody that super chatted. My Cash App is Carcino. If you want to do it, donate there. And yeah, we're going to do something different. We're going to go ahead and make a membership here eventually. So for some reason, give people the option. Some people want to go on Patreon. There'll be some stuff on Patreon. There'll be some videos here on members only. So therefore, we give y'all the option. If y'all want to do it, you do it. You don't, you know. So it'll be up to y'all. So you have the option to go to either side. So on that note,